Okay. Dan coming?
Dan is not coming.
Who?
Dan Gardenstein is not coming. So it's just the four of us. I'm going to skip the first one because I did invite somebody to come speak on it, the code amendment for tow trucks, so I'll see you, give him some time to see if he'll come. Julie's here, you want to speak to your two? You don't have to stick around all night.
So we're skipping
join you at
the
the table?
code amendments.
We're gonna skip the code amendments.
How's everybody doing?
Hi.
Thank you for your time. So the first, do you want me to do both of them?
Yeah, if that's all right with everybody, I think that works best for you, so let's do that.
Great. So the first one is the Energy Improvement Corporation's PACE legislation. This is the third time that I've come to make this change, and this is out of our control. So back in 2015, we established a sustainable energy loan program called PACE, Property Access Clean Energy, where people that are affiliated with a nonprofit or a business could make energy efficiency improvements and renewable energy improvements to their properties, and put the cost of those onto their tax bills. At the time, it was just called PACE. It was through the Energy Improvement Corporation, and we signed on to a municipal agreement.
What does PACE stand for?
Property Assessed Clean Energy. So local law number 3 of 2015 established that loan program through the city. Subsequent to that, the EIC, the Energy Improvement Corporation, changed their product, as they call it, to PACE 2.0. In order for us to continue to offer this loan program, we had to override the original local law, as did every other municipality, and adopt a second local law, which you all adopted as local law number 4 of 2018, which was PACE 2.0. And we were informed in March of this year that they've moved on to a third product. And so in order to be able to continue to offer this program, we have to change our local law a third time. And so that is why I'm here. This is called C-PACE. No idea what the C stands for.
They didn't want to do 3.0?
They didn't want to do 3.0, they ditched the 3.0. So, to be brief, this is what the changes are. This is the memo that was sent out to the municipalities, but just to briefly go over this. You can read here, but also just a separate memo that I have that kind of, in my opinion, more succinctly outlines it than this, but this is the copy that I made for you anyway. This new C-PACE is different because it removes all municipal obligations from the provision of the public benefit. It bills the property owner directly and administers collection of the payment. The municipality does not add a charge to the property's tax bill under this C-PACE. And so under this, the municipality is no longer responsible for guaranteeing the loan payment. This is all good things from John Tully's perspective. Funds are provided through EIC approved capital providers. So the funding all goes, instead of through us, through another capital provider. And so they made this decision at their annual meeting in March to change to this product. Basically, we cannot continue. They are discontinuing the previous product option, so as long as we want to continue to offer to our nonprofits and our businesses the opportunity to do renewable energy and energy efficiency projects with through a sustainable loan program, we need to adopt this. So I propose for you all to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign the municipal agreement to activate the local law to establish this new sustainable energy loan program, which is open to C-PACE.
Does anybody have any questions?
I will also say there have not been a lot of, there has not been a lot of interest in this program so far. We've also not been doing a lot of promoting of it. I hope that someday it opens up to residential, and it is not currently. It's just commercial
So how do the commercial businesses know? I mean, is there any outreach or
They're
just,
I mean, we are a member, so they have their own kind of suite of outreach and marketing that they do from the Energy Improvement Corporation and Energize New York. We haven't done a whole lot. Internally, we certainly could up what we provide in terms of marketing on it. We just haven't really prioritized it, but certainly could be something that we easily take their information, put it on our website, and try and make that information available.
And it's commercial and nonprofit, right?
Yes.
Both, right?
Yeah, it's
What-
commercial, multifamily, and nonprofit, not other residential.
Oh, and not, they don't have to combine though, it could be commercial or it could be nonprofit.
Correct.
Oh, okay, I was thinking combination.
Yeah.
I wonder why they're hesitant to open it up to residential.
No idea. I also don't know why they keep changing their product. I think that they're really just, you know, there have been burdens on the municipality that they're trying to, I think, overcome. So every new sort of product that they come up with is kind of like, well, this one's better. Obviously, like a 2.0 better than a 1.0. 3.0, like IBC case is better than a 2.0. So it seems like they're still ironing out a lot of the kinks.
Well, this one's better for this is better for the city.
This one's better for the city, and frankly, since there have been going through many changes, it seems like I'm happy to not have to change that communication with the public. Like, now you have to do this, now you can do this, now you can do this. I hope that this is a product that they stay with, and that we can stick with this for more than a year. The last one was last year, so it's been less than a year that I've come to this. It wouldn't be difficult for us to promote it. It just isn't. I mean, it's a great service that we are able to provide, or provision for services that we're able to provide to our residents. And it's actually minimal. Now it's really minimal, you know, time commitment on our part. So it wouldn't be much at all for us to really ramp this up.
so I think we talked about that a year ago, is getting it out there would be nice, but
Is it
now
on the
maybe it's.
website, the city website?
I mean, it's in our, I guess, it's on the website in that it says that we are a member of the Energy Improvement Corporation and that we are participants in PACE. So that there is that presence, but there's not a whole lot of
An
like,
application.
click here for this, yeah.
Right, gotcha.
You don't know why, what?
I think to date there have been fewer than 5. But my understanding is that there is interest. I don't know if I'm just being told that there's interest in order for me to continue to move this along, or if there's actual interest. People haven't reached out to me specifically about it. I don't know if they've reached out to City Hall at all about it.
Spread the word, I guess. The word of mouth. It's out there.
Any other questions? I'll read this. A resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a municipal agreement to activate a local law to establish a sustainable energy loan program in the city of Kingston, open sea PACE. Is there a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I should have said yes this before. That's a local law, so that since we're just modifying the one, does it need to it's a separate law. So just think about all property.
also here to speak of the open space plan,
Yes.
which is in the second packet that we received.
So I was here a few months ago to sort of preface why I'm here today, which is to talk about the open space plan. Our consultant began planning and design, completed our open space plan in June of this year. This is a long process. This started with our natural resources inventory and then our open space index and our open space plan. And so it is complete. The Conservation Advisory Council did adopt it as just through their council themselves. It is a document that does not get to the parcel level for recommendations, but goes, and I think I may have passed these out the last time, but if you'd like another one, this is the open space vision map that basically goes into visions, vision and goals for the next 10 years in terms of the amount of linear feet of public access we'd like to have, additional acres of land protected, additional parks, additional farmland protected, community gardens, trees, things like that. And so what I'm here to ask is for a resolution to undertake the coordinated review of the City of Kingston Open Space Plan. As such, determine that such actions to be type 1 actions defined in the secret process that necessitates a coordinated review, and that the Common Council will circulate a request to all involved and interested agencies to request to act as lead agency in the secret review process. So my ultimate ask is to have you adopt this as an element of the comprehensive plan, which is beyond adoption of a city plan, which is what was done with the climate action plan and many other plans that we have in the city, but to actually adopt it as an element of the comp plan, which necessitates the secret process. So your first step being starting a coordinated review, designated as a type 1 action, and then circulating this to the involved and interested agencies.
So what advantage would have? I mean, it would give another level with the secret review, so I think that's a good thing, but what advantage would it be to have it linked to a comprehensive plan as opposed to all the other documents kind of stand alone? Or is that just kind of a better direction for us to go since a lot of those are done before that was complete? Is it more of a timing thing with that?
It's not more of a timing thing. It's a putting teeth in an actual land use plan for the municipality. So this would be considered the municipality's land use plan, which is why it falls as a type 1 action. And so other plans that we have don't necessarily have, well, I'm not going to make that generalization. By making this an element of the comprehensive plan, it gives this document teeth in that when a development proposal comes before the city, just like the comprehensive plan should be reviewed for consistency, the open space plan would also thus need to be reviewed for consistency as part of the comprehensive plan. So it demonstrates to the community and it shows a commitment that land use planning is an important aspect of what we consider when we're doing development reviews. You could also choose to just adopt it as a municipal plan, and it would still be an adopted municipal plan that we would still use as guidance. It's ultimately up to the council whether you want to incorporate it into the comp plan or not. There are many in most municipalities that create an open space plan and go through the process. Most municipalities, desire to incorporate it into their comp plan. Not all legislative bodies vote to do so. Even just within our own county, there are some that have and there are some that have not. The recommendation that I have and the recommendation that the Conservation Advisory Council has, and also just in speaking with the Ulster County, with Dennis Doyle today, this is the recommendation that we would like to make in terms of your approach.
Recommending going through the secret process.
Yeah, makes sense. Might be a little bit down the road, but when some of those other like the climate action plan, when they're up for review or when they're modified, do you think we'll go the same route with those, or do you think they'll just
And this is relevant that you're asking because the climate action plan specifically, and I can't speak to many other plans, but this one in particular I can speak to, that was done in 2012 and established goals and recommendations and strategies up to 2020, which is of course next year. So right now we have begun the process of updating that, and we're going to do a climate action plan 2.0.
See climate
action plan. But it's a different type of document that, no, I don't think we're going to go through that process. And I don't even know if that would be a standard thing to do. I will say though that there are a lot of references since the comprehensive plan update happened subsequent to the climate action plan, there are a lot of cross-references within, so if we feel as though it's built in quite well to it, there could be amendments that could be made to the comp plan. I don't know what the comp plan update, reschedule, schedule of update would be. I guess probably 2025, presumably. And things could maybe be different then, but I don't necessarily anticipate doing this or that one. And the other plan that I really was pushing was the plan for rising waters and sea level rise report. And we don't have any current.
Some of you might need one.
Yeah, no.
That was older, yeah. Tonight.
It is older. We don't currently have on our radar to be updating that. We are actively acting on the recommendations within it, but I don't currently have on my list of things to do to be updating that. It might come up, but it's not currently. And that certainly may integrate into our next climate action plan because many communities have their resiliency plan, their mitigation, and their adaptation all in one, so we may have to just incorporate it all into one for the 2.0 version. I'm not calling it 2.0, we're definitely not calling it. See the climate action plan.
And you have other questions? Does it sound like the recommended pathway you want to take?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Going through the secret process would just mean more.
Well, that's good. It's just more thorough. And it also puts us in a position to be more consistent with the other things we're doing.
Move on, really. A resolution to undertake a coordinated review of the City of Kingston, New York open space plan, and as such, determine such action to be a type 1 action as defined in 6 NYCRR Part 617.4(b)(1) of the Secret Acts, and a coordinated review must be undertaken, and that the Common Council will circulate a request to all involved and interested agencies to request to act as lead agency in the secret review process. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Anybody have a relic bar? Just kidding. Oh, that's a nice one.
If you do, she'll take it and drive by the door and go back.
Nope, I'm just gonna run.
Yeah, okay, be careful.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're natural. That's cool.
All right, so next is the adopt a highway that Bill has presented. So would you like to take the floor?
Yeah, this is really more or less a discussion. I noticed, I was just going through and I noticed we had this in our code to do this. I just printed, this is all it is. I mean, it's nothing for tonight or anything, but I was thinking it's probably a good thing if we can either promote it, like it's been sitting there. As far as I'm concerned, I don't ever remember Kingston actually having such a thing where you actually see the results of this. So I was kind of curious as to why, but I didn't know if you look it over, if there were some things that maybe there's an insurance, mention of an insurance and some other things. I didn't know if there were things that maybe prevented some businesses or nonprofits from being involved, or maybe they just don't know about it. Maybe it's something we could promote. But I think it's ultimately would be a good thing to have like a good community-based way of, just helping keep Kingston clean.
So your recommendation is to advertise this more, or to make changes on this?
I just kind of wanted to throw it out there and
Do we have a program now?
yeah, that's what this is. That's right in our.
This is in
No,
the
we
city
do
code.
have one.
That's right. That was right off the
Do
city.
you know if anybody do we have any?
I don't even know if anyone's ever done that. I've never seen like signs or anything like that. Have you ever seen anything like that locally?
We're gonna see it right outside the city,
Right.
but it never.
I mean, like even something as simple like I thought it would be kind of cool if each of the aldermen had adopt a certain section of their wards or something. It's really just the idea of it is just to keep certain sections or certain roadways or parks, have someone else help keep it clean and just be involved in just general maintenance of the city. So I just thought it might be something that we might want to look into. But again, I'm just throwing it out there tonight without any real plan of action. But I would, so I just handed this tonight. But if everyone wants to look it over and see what they think, and we can talk about it next week if there's a way we can, advertise it or promote it or be involved ourselves in it or something of that nature. I just thought it might be just another way to keep Kingston cleaner.
But since you've read through this a little bit more detailed than us, is there anything that you think that needs to be changed to make this happen, or?
Well, like I said, the having like insurance card, I don't know if that would scare people away. That was probably the big one for me.
Which one is this?
That's 3.9. It says organization shall furnish to the city for proof of liability insurance coverage in the amount of $1 million covering the group's purpose, activity, blah 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 blah. So I didn't know if that if that was something that if it's something that people could do like on a volunteer basis, that's one thing. But if they got to put out a lot of money for it, that's something completely different. So I didn't know if that was something that would be a hold up or. But for the most part, it seems.
At the same time, you kind of do need liability insurance to do something like this.
Yeah, but I didn't know, I didn't know, obviously you don't want to put Kingston in jeopardy if someone does something inappropriate or something that's not safe that causes something where Kingston's held liable. So I understand why we wouldn't want to, put ourselves on the hook for anything like that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that is a big deal or if it's not a lot of money for.
Yeah, I don't know, because I know my band has $1 million liability insurance, and I know our band leader did not put up $1 million. I don't know how that actually works.
Yeah, it might not be a lot for something.
It might be worth bringing to court counsel and finding out more information on.
And then the only other thing it talked about, in
or
addition to
maybe
better like
Lisa knows an answer.
Well, every event that happens in the city of Kingston has to have the $1 million insurance policy, and they have to have Kingston as additionally insured. So everything that happens has that.
Is it a really high cost,
I don't believe so, but
Yeah.
you could call John Dwyer. He's our city insurer, and he could definitely give you more information.
But I could see how that looks scary. Somebody
Right.
look at it and says, wait, I have to put $1 million
Right.
insurance.
Yeah.
Well, scary and also not possible.
Right.
Us
Yeah,
ordinary
no,
folk.
it's not, I know, when a film comes to, when they did Just Right on the Front Steps, they have to provide it everything that happens, the organizer has to provide that. So I don't think it's that much money.
But if we're going to advertise this, market this a little bit more, we could explain.
Yeah, I'd get more.
Explain
Yeah,
that.
I would, definitely try to.
Not drop
Have
$1 million
everything covered,
to then
right.
clean a street.
And then the only other thing that stood out to me was, at a minimum, they shall, pick up litter and plant flowers, shrubs, or ground cover. I didn't know if we needed to change it, because I'm looking at it on 3.6, 3-6. It talks about, planting flowers and shrubs. I mean, I don't know if that would necessarily need to be part of the requirement. My idea is just to really for litter purposes more so than that. But I mean, it could be part of it, but to make it
Well, it says if applicable.
worry.
It doesn't sound like it's
Yeah.
It's
if applicable.
required, yeah, but,
But I think that's something DPW should have a say on.
well, all of this, well,
Yeah.
it says.
Yeah, well, they do have,
Oh,
it
they
does
do have
recommendation with
Yeah, authorization by the
DPW.
DPW is.
No, but like that somebody can't just go there and plant and start planting things after they've been approved. You know,
Yeah, I had to look through it, maybe it does say that it would be, there would be a follow-up or something, but, yeah, so I guess read through this and,
Yeah, see what
Come
you
up
think,
with-
see if there's ways we can maybe make it more appealing, or maybe something that we wanna kind of push forward. Help make Kingston cleaner.
and will you follow up with DPW just to see
Yeah.
where,
You know, all of the court counsel too, and John Dwyer. I think it makes sense. I mean, I think it, like, you know, you see all over the place when you drive around, you know, the stretch of highway adopted by someone, you know, and I think it, you know, just kind of be a nice way for
this
businesses
community?
to promote
Mhm.
themselves.
Yeah,
That makes
that's a good
sense.
idea.
All right, I will forge ahead then.
Alright, and then I guess just let Jim know how you wanna move forward, if
Yeah.
there's a plan that the council does, or,
All right,
well, that was easy though.
told you. Throwing things out there.
So then the next is the Kingston Roundabout. So did you all read? Read through this. So this is because of the long process of all of this. New York State Department of Transportation requirements have changed and is now requesting that a new resolution be passed that approves the cost estimate, resolves that the city will maintain the sewer, resolves that the city will deposit the funds, which has actually already been completed, and resolves that the city will deposit additional funds if there is a deficiency, and authorizes the mayor to enter into a utility work agreement with New York State Department of Transportation.
So what cost estimate are we talking about here? The cost estimate listed in the first line?
Yeah, it doesn't, this isn't changing the cost estimate.
So we've already authorized bonding.
Yeah, it's
Why-
basically changing the language of the resolution to fit the new requirements, because it's,
But it doesn't change the obligation.
it does not.
And this is all you already have approved, right? It's just, they just need it updated since time has lapsed, and so they need it updated.
But do we know what actually changed on the resolution itself? Or did anything change? Or is it just?
They didn't supply me with the old resolution, and John's on vacation, so I was hoping he would come to answer any questions. But what we would be approving is the list right up there. The cost estimate, which again, you've already, it's up on the first paragraph, the 1,100,000. The approved resolves the city will maintain the sewer. We've already deposited the funds, and we'll deposit additional funds if there's a deficiency.
So that's new. Resolves that the city will deposit additional funds if there is a deficiency such that the cost is over $1,106,656.
Yes, I don't know if that means we are then obligated according to this.
I'm not sure if that, is that even new? It seemed like there was a contingency in the original one.
I remember that being mentioned before, so I don't know if it's new.
Isn't that a,
Funny, that would have to go through finance anyway.
yeah, isn't that a finance committee? If they run short, and they're looking for more money,
We have to go to finance.
I think so. So are we voting on anything here?
I don't know, you're uncomfortable, we could table this
Yeah,
and wait for.
I guess there's enough questions, yeah, John would have, because if that's something that, it's just a timing thing where the other one expired or something, that's one thing, but if something changed, because I thought there was something in there that did indicate, you know, it seemed like there was something like contingencies where, but I can't swear to what I would have it in front of me now.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the original one.
I think there's more questions than we should feel comfortable voting on, so.
I think we need John to respond to some of these.
All right,
I mean, this isn't time sensitive, right?
I was not told it is, so.
Then again, I don't think they're ready to start,
Yeah, and I did request that somebody be here, but they just couldn't make it, so I think then we just,
I don't see a date on any of this.
so we could,
yeah, I think we
table this for further.
Get more answers, yeah. Go from that.
Yes.
Anything specific you want me to find out, or just wait until that next month and have them come?
Just any of the financial impact, really,
Okay.
you know, something that's changed like immediately.
All right.
I mean, I'm curious what the copies were sent to the mayor, clerk, council, and finance control, but how did it end up here?
It was put on Laws and Rules agenda. Again, that's how it ended up here. But I think it's just because this is all, it would be authorizing the mayor to enter into the agreement.
Okay.
So, but we need to make sure that there is no financial impact before we
Yeah.
agree to anything. So, and if there is, then it should go to finance.
Yeah.
All
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
So then let's go back to the code amendments for tow trucks. So let me just pull that up. So I was approached, or the mayor mentioned to me that the tow truck, let me just find it before I start.
I thought we would table that.
No, I didn't want to, I
Oh,
was
okay.
hoping somebody would be here.
Okay, gotcha.
They're not, so I just put it aside here for a second.
Okay.
The code for tow trucks hasn't changed in over a decade, and so the fees haven't changed. So the fee structure is the same as it was probably 20 years ago. And so right now, the fees, if you look at page, we're under 37016, the requirements and fees. Like for the day to tow charge for passenger vehicles and trucks, day is $100, nights, weekends, and holidays $125. Municipalities around us, for instance, town of Ulster, it's $200 for the day and $225. So we're really, really not matching up to current times in nearby municipalities. So I was approached by a towing company right over on Hasbrook Ave to possibly adjust it. So when I talked to Dan Gartenstein this morning, he suggested that, I think it was a year ago, remember when we changed all the fee structures in the city code? Somehow this got either missed or whatever happened, but the tow truck fees weren't added to that, so there isn't part of that for the fee structure. So,
We moved everything into.
the fee schedule.
Piece, right.
The fee schedule, so this wasn't part of that. So what Dan's recommendation is to amend the code so that we can add this to the fee schedule, and then the finance would, decide on the finance committee would decide on the fees. If we want to
Oh, so
change.
So we're just adding this item into the fee schedule.
So the first step would
And
be
then-
adding
and
it.
then to change it or to do anything,
Change
to
the
change
code.
it would be for
To
next month.
keep it consistent, excuse me, with other fees, the fee schedule with everything else in the code. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
So that would be the first step, and then I would resubmit it, and I would imagine then it would go to the finance committee to discuss if the fees would be changed.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
This isn't
And that
a,
was-
you know, this has been a long time coming, so it's not like we need to get this done right now. But it's also been a long time coming, so we should, you know, get the ball rolling on this so that we match other municipalities, or at least a little bit closer.
Yeah, so what we really need to do is just vote to move this to the fee schedule so we can make changes accordingly, just like with everything else then. Okay, yeah. Makes sense.
So I just started writing this meeting. Let me just finish this, sorry. Just write that down.
We'll still have $1.40. Direct energy. Is that- So,
All right, so resolution of the City of Kingston Common Council to amend the City Code 37016 to make such application as such set forth in the fee schedule to be established by the Common Council. Does that make sense? Do you have a motion?
motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, and I imagine this is gonna come to you in a month, right?
Yeah, we'll see it soon.
That's fine. Let's go through everything. And then on the old, that's it for new business. Old business is something we've already talked about in great detail, is the Henry Street project. So last month, the council voted us to be lead agency, but the Gloves rules have already gone through the CEQA process, you know, in detail with the engineer about all of this. So now it's just declaring us. Wait, is this the?
This is what we've been decided, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't, no, not officially, it hasn't been decided. We did go through it, but we had to wait for us to be a lead agency, to be declared lead agency before we could actually vote on this. But it was deliberated already, but not officially voted.
Okay.
So does anybody have any further questions on the project? And again, this is 2 months ago that we had the engineer on the phone, we had Kristen here, and we went through the whole process to declare this a negative declaration. Are there any problems?
Nope.
All right, so the resolution of the City of Kingston Common Council issuing a negative declaration in connection with the Henry Street Safe Routes to School project in the State Environmental Quality Review Act seeker process pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 617. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And just lastly, as part of old business, and as a follow-up to the August 12th public hearing, we are not, as many of you probably know, if not all of you know, that we won't be deliberating on the rezoning until after the seeker process. So back in June, our meeting, I outlined a 90-day plan that was put in motion as soon as the applicant filed a petition, which I think was June 4th. And so that's why we set the August 12th hearing, we set time for comments, and then our plan was to have it voted by in September, which would be the 90 days. But within that time period before the August 12th meeting, found out, I spoke with Department of State, and we couldn't do this during the seeker process, so we have to wait. So the applicant did put in a waiver for us to wait until after the seeker process. So we're kind of on a pause until that happens. Doesn't mean you can't, go through the comments that we heard at the hearing, but we won't be voting on the rezoning until after the planning board has made their determination. But
Glad you're on top of all this.
Yeah,
that makes sense, or do you have any questions on that?
yeah, makes sense.
All right, so I guess I will say to be continued on that one. All right, any other items or information?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.